Hello and welcome to another edition of Capper Comparison Picks. I'm Ranj. Tonight I will be giving you some more prelims from the UFC Vegas 52 card. Be sure to check out the video I did last night where I covered early prelim fights, and I'm just moving up the card according to the order on Tapology. So, without further ado, it's getting a little bit late for me, so let's get into this. We're going to start this show off with the light heavyweight fight between Tyson Pedro and Ike Villanueva, or if you want to, in Europe it's Ike Villanueva. I learned that from Vlad, because that's what he calls him, Ike. Okay, Ike Villanueva comes in as a huge underdog here, 4-1. Get 4 times your money if you're taking Ike, Hurricane Villanueva. He comes in with double-digit loss, 18-13 is his professional record. He's plus 425. He's taking on Tyson Pedro. Tyson Pedro's been away from the fight scene for a little bit. Comes in with a pro record of 7-3. Notice Ike's big veteran experience over Pedro. Got double the fights. Actually, 3 times the fights. 3 times the fights, double the wins. Okay, anyway, Tyson Pedro comes in as a minus 600 favorite. Is that crazy or what? Insane. Let's talk about the favorite first in Tyson Pedro. Tyson Pedro is the younger fighter here, being 30 years old, where Ike Villanueva is 38, almost 40 for Ike. EK. Tyson Pedro's coming off a loss to Shogun Rua. TKO punches, round 3. Prior to that, he got a loss from OSP, Oven St. Preux, by armlock, round 1. Before that, he's got a win. Saperbeg Safarov. Not that great. But anyway, win nonetheless. He got a Kimura round 1. Before that, he lost to Ilir Latifi. Unanimous decision. And prior to that, he had probably his best win in his entire career is against Paul Craig. He took care of Paul Craig with elbows in round 1. Very good for Tyson Pedro. He trains out of Australia, the Lions High Performance Center. He's got the 2-inch height advantage here and a 6-inch reach advantage over Ike Villanueva. Hurricane Ike Villanueva comes in off a couple losses himself. His most recent loss was to Nick Negomarianu. He got beat by a right hook to ground strikes, round 1. Prior to that, he lost to Marcin Prachnio, who is also on this card. He lost by a body kick in round 2. Prior to that, he did have his win against Vinicius Moreira. He beat Vinicius Moreira by a KO in round 2. And he lost to Jordan Wright, also on this card. Actually, right here, right there, by Dr. Stoppage. He got a cut in the first round. And he made his UFC debut and lost to Chase Sherman. How you going to lose to Chase Sherman? But he lost to him by elbows and punches in round 2. Not a good look for Ike. Ike is 1-4 in his last 5. I guess one decent thing going for him, he does fight out of the 4-ounce fight club. There's a couple other fighters on this card fighting out of there, but none. I don't think Mike Jackson, he's one of the fighters. I don't think he's winning. And yeah, unfortunately, Mike Jackson, I thought there was somebody else on this card. I guess not. It's just him and Mike Jackson. But other fighters out of the 4-ounce fight club are Daniel Pineda and Domingo Pilarte, both coming out of that gym down in Houston, Texas. So let's see what the Cappers have to say in this light heavyweight showdown between Tyson Pedro and Ike Villanueva. Well, taking the minus 600 favorite. Disgusting. I can't take it. We've got James Lynch. Of course, he's taking Tyson Pedro. We've got Dev, the Dude, and Cell, the Red. Dev and Cell, both taking Pedro. We have Leighton from UFC, Gambling Addicts, taking Tyson Pedro. We got the Die Hard MMA podcast. It was Clint, and this week's guest was Lucrative MMA. Both those guys from the Die Hard MMA podcast taking Tyson Pedro. Lucrative actually said KO in the first round for Tyson Pedro. All right. And finally, Blood Money. My friend Cody also taking Tyson Pedro by KO. When? Round 1. He didn't even say KO. He said finish round 1, but we'll leave it up. We'll just say round 1, okay? A finish for Tyson Pedro in round 1. I don't think he's going to submit him, but you never know. It's making this a full capper consensus. If you don't know, a full capper consensus is when all the cappers pick the same side. In this case, everybody is taking Tyson Pedro to beat Ike Villanueva. I would do the dance for you, but at minus 600, I just can't. That's a given. Of course, who's going to take Ike Villanueva except for his mama and his sister and his girlfriend and his daughter and whatever else family and friends he has close to him? Nobody else in their right mind is going to take Ike Villanueva at plus 425. I will make a contrarian argument, though, that Ike Villanueva has seen a lot of... He's seen everything. He's 18 and double-digit losses, 18 and 13. As a professional, he's seen it all. He does have good veteran experience, but Tyson Pedro is just better. Wherever the fight goes, I think Tyson Pedro. And he's got the youth, he's got the height, he's got the reach. But, yeah. And look at the last 5. 2 and 3 for Pedro. And his 3 losses were against known fighters, whereas in Ike Villanueva, 1 and 4, and he's got losses to Chase Sherman. Come on, really? So, that being said, I can't go with Ike either. I kind of like Ike, but not in this fight. Maybe he should have a rematch against Chase Sherman. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how. But another note I did hear from one of these cappers is, you know why Pedro was out for a while is because he had an injury. So there might be a lingering, I forget, was it leg injury? I forget what it was, but there might be a lingering injury for Pedro. So that minus 600 is definitely not warranted. It should be, I would imagine, a little bit closer, but the bookies do not want you picking Tyson Pedro because that is just disgusting right there, minus 600. However, I will pick them for contest pick, you know, if I have to pick but if I had to make a bet on this, if they're like, here's $100, you gotta place a bet on this, what would I say? I would probably say Tyson Pedro by knockout would be my bet. So I'm gonna say, yeah, Tyson Pedro gets a TKO. I'm not sure of the round, and I don't know if Tyson Pedro by TKO is even plus money. It's probably not. So if I have to pick a round, I guess I'll say round 2. That'll definitely be plus money. So there you have that. Moving on. Next we have the welterweight fight between Dwight the Body Snatcher Grant. Isn't that the same nickname as Jesse Ronson, Body Snatcher? I think it is. I don't like when more than one person share a nickname. It's just it's unoriginal. I don't know who had it first. Probably, I'd imagine Dwight Grant's probably been in the biz a little bit longer, but whatever. Just like, come on, come up with your own spiel, your own shtick. Dwight Grant, the body snatcher's taking on Sergey Khandozhko. Khandozhko, Honda, wing, 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 wing. It's like Honda, like the Honda engines. They never quit for you. You can drive a Honda car till it's over 300,000 miles before it dies. Anyway, Sergey Khandozhko is a slight favorite here, -117. These odds, by the way, are from Bet Online, just maybe a couple hours ago before my wife's Tuesday night class she has to do. That's why I do this a little bit late. That's why I'm trying to speed through it, because I am exhausted today. Tomorrow I'm going out of town again, so if I do a video tomorrow, it will be a hotel room travel board video. So I'm really not looking forward to it, but I do still enjoy them. We'll see how it goes. Maybe not. Anyway, back to this. Dwight Grant is this underdog. 11-4 is his professional record. Khandozhko, 27-6-1. He's got mad experience in the fight game, but not as much UFC experience as Dwight Grant. Khandozhko comes in off a loss to Rustam Kabalov, unanimous decision. Prior to that, he has a win in his UFC debut against Rostam Akhman, unanimous decision. Prior to that, he was fighting out of Russia, where he beat Adriano Rodriguez by a spinning back kick. You always like to hear that, you like to hear the fantastic spinning back kicks and the spinning stuff. It's so entertaining. He got that in S70, which is the Russian regional scene. He took that care of business in round 2. Before that, he was another Russian regional called Golden Team, where he beat some guy named Miller Koto. I don't know, rear naked choke. And then it was an ACB, was another scene over there in Tajikistan, where he beat Stanislav Vlasenko by split decision. So this guy, not really proven, hasn't had a big, strong resume of fighters, not a big, tough schedule, if you will. And he does have 6 losses sprinkled into those regional scene fights. Okay, he fights out of the Fight Club number 1 in Moscow, Russia. Or number 1 Fight Club. Fight Club number 1, I don't know which way you want to say it. It reminds me of here in where I live in my small town, we have the new number 1 Chinese restaurant. For real, it's been the new number 1 since I've lived here for good 8 years. Every year it's the new number 1. Winston, you're pushing the tripod. Move. Let's talk about Dwight Grant, fighting out of AKA American Kickboxing Association out of San Jose, California. I love AKA. The body snatcher's coming off a loss to Francisco Trinaldo. Now that's a loss, and he lost by split decision. Before that, he beat Stefan Sekulic, split decision. Dwight Grant likes to make you sweat. Prior to that, he lost to Daniel Rodriguez. Daniel Rodriguez took care of him by punches in the first round for D-Rod. Before that, he beat Alan Jouban, Louisiana's own Alan Jouban, by split decision. There you go. Dwight's gonna make you sweat. And prior to that, he beat Carlo Pedersoli, KO round 1. Good on ya. These guys are the same height, but Dwight Grant does have a slight 2.5-inch reach advantage over Sergey Khandozhko. Now, this is a very interesting fight, considering Dwight Grant has the UFC experience, but Khandozhko has the pro MMA experience. From what I heard, there's conflicting statistics, I would guess. It says like Khandozhko's been Wheezy figured it out. He said the dude is 29 years old. Okay, Dwight Grant. This is not a big thing about the age. 29. Dwight Grant 37. So you got a 29-year-old, but it says he's been fighting since for 18 years or something. And then Weezy's like, so what, he start fighting when he's 11? Because how you gonna have 18 years of experience when you're 29? That means he goes, even the Uncle Weezy goes, even the baddest Russians don't start at 11. I mean, well, maybe Kamzat. But anyway, Khandozhko does have mad experience in the fight game. However, when it comes to UFC experience, Dwight Grant, you've got it, buddy. Okay, so let's see what the cappers have to say in this close fight. Both of these guys negative numbers, so in my position, I would have to either parlay them or prop them to get to a plus number. You have to go in the other room, Winston. What are you doing? What are you doing? Go on. Go on, old dog. Well, you change your mind, you're gonna stay in here, then go lay down. Go. You're right in my way. You're underfoot. You're underfoot, Winston. All right, Dwight Grant. Taking Dwight Grant. We got Cody from Blood Money. He's saying Dwight Grant should get the decision here over Khandozhko. Then over here we've got UFC gambling addicts. Leighton. He's not making a bet on this at all. He's too close to call, but gun to head, if he had the FAMAS, he always uses Call of Duty guns. He's like, you got the FAMAS and the red dot on my head saying pick a fighter, I would have to pick Khandozhko. Sergey, he just says, because a lot of people have a problem saying this guy's last name. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it right. Khandozh. The ZH makes a sh. Khandozhko. Sergey Khandozhko. Okay, so no bet there. It's kind of like I'm just gonna say no bet. No bet, gun to head pick. Okay. Then we've got Die Hard MMA podcast. Actually, Clint is passing on this, so I'm not gonna write his name here, but Lucrative is taking the side of Dwight Grant. Lucrative MMA. Okay. Then jump back over here. We've got Dev, the dude.
Let's put some gravy on it.
And Cell. Don't put gravy on it because me and John Morgan will split it. We'd fight over it. Finally, we've got, for the tiebreaker, we've got James Lynch, the interviewer extraordinaire. And he's on the side of Dwight Grant. I think he may have done an interview with Dwight Grant. I'm not sure. James Lynch does keep a playlist of all the interviews he's done for the fight card, the fighters on the fight card. And if he's interviewed them, he puts this on the playlist. I suggest everybody tune into James Lynch's interviews and check out the interviews for the fighters on this card for a little bit of deep insight. Because also, I love that the James Lynch does the MMA pro picks. It's weird because the pros don't really, they're all over the place with their picks and they just go by gut and stuff. But it's fun to watch though, and some of them might actually have some sleek insider information if you do listen to them. Interesting enough. So MMA Pro Picks, one of my favorite YouTube shows from James Lynch. Okay, so there you have it. James Lynch doing the tiebreaker and leaning on the side of Dwight Grant, edging him out for the capper majority. And I too am going with the capper majority. I'm going to take Dwight Grant. I think he's definitely proven that he is UFC level, where Khandozhko really hasn't. He's got a lot of fights. They're all in Russia, and they're all against people I don't know who they are, except for Rostam Akhman. That's the only win that I know his name. Everybody else, I don't know this Stanislav Vlasenko. And that was a loss too, by the way. I don't know Miller Cotto, Adriano Rodriguez. I don't know those guys. So I'm picking Dwight Grant to get it done, and I think he should probably get it done do I want to say, let's see, how's he lost? This guy's been losing by decision, and Dwight Grant loves the make you sweat split decision. I think that's what this guy happened here. He's going to win by decision, and it's not going to be unanimous. He's going to make you sweat. It's going to be a split decision. He'll probably lose a round, at least one round to Khandozhko. Maybe one round will be almost a draw, or maybe even one of the judges will see Grant or see Khandozhko as the winner. That's why I think it's going to Dwight Grant a close split decision in this fight here. Moving on. Finally, we've got the catchweight fight. 190 pounds between Jordan Wright, the Beverly Hills Ninja. I like to call him Jordan Wright White Privilege because he looks just like he's never, I don't know, he's from Beverly Hills. He doesn't appear like he's ever had to really see any sort of struggle in his life. Back in the Alaskan regional scene, he was given a padded lineup of competition, like guys with records of like I think I saw like a 3-26 or something. I don't know, just crazy padded. He got his record padded by beating all these garbage cans, these trash cans, these dumpster fighters, these horrible fighters out of the Alaskan scene. Then he comes over, but he has, as of recently, somewhat put a little, hey, I'm not just a can crusher, I can get it done against decent guys too, as I'll explain in a little bit. Jordan Wright is the favorite or underdog here at plus 145. He's only lost twice as a professional, but as I mentioned, a lot of those 12 wins, many of them come by way of beating cans. Marc-AndreBarriault. This guy has come in with a record of 13-5. He's the favorite here at minus 170. Very predictable. He is so predictable, and he really is. He comes with the same style, but it seems to be working for him. But not as of recently, because Marc-AndreBarriault, he's coming off a loss 16 seconds in round 1 to Chidi Njokuani. Prior to that, he did have a nice win against Dulce Lunguiambula by unanimous decision. Before that, he has a win against Abu Azaitar, ground and pound round 3. That was really good. He did beat Oscar Pichota, ground and pound round 2. However, that was turned to a no contest because he was taking the performance enhancing drug called Ostarine, which helps with your cardio, helps pump oxygen through your blood. Man, if I can get a hold of some of that, maybe I can. I don't know. I'm just playing, but Ostarine. There's been quite a few UFC fighters that have been busted for Ostarine. Prior to that, he did have a loss to Jun Young Park unanimous decision. So he's 2-2, and he got that 1 no contest. 2-2 and 1 no contest in his last 5. He trains out of the Nova Gym and Patronaud Kung Fu for the Powerball. Those I believe are Canadian facilities. He is a Canadian. Jordan Wright, Beverly Hills Ninja. Now here we go with his last 5 RDOT cans. That's decent, okay? Most recently, he got beat by Bruno Silva, punches round 1. Prior to that, he beat the Night Wolf, Jamie Pickett, from knees to ground and pound. He made quick work of Jamie Pickett round 1. That's where he did the bow, which I loved it. The bow. He did the respectful bow after he defeated Jamie Pickett. It was like low-key insulting though. And he prior to that, he got knocked out by Jaquim Buckley twice. He got knocked out the end of round 1. The bell saved him, and then he came back round 2 and got knocked out 18 seconds of round 2. It is what it is. Before that, he beat Ike Villanueva. I already mentioned Jordan Wright's UFC debut was against Ike Villanueva, where he beat him by Dr. Stoppage, getting the cut. Prior to that, he beat Gabriel Checo, knees and punches. round 2, and that was in the LFA. So, like I mentioned, his last 5 were not cans, but back before his last 5, very padded record out of that Alaskan regional scene against. Check it out. It's a bunch of trash cans. Jordan Wright is one of the bigger middleweights, but this is catch weight, 190 pounds. I think he will be the bigger guy here. He's got 1-inch height advantage and a 4-inch reach advantage. When it comes to girth, muscle mass, and brawn, I don't really know if he's going to be the bigger guy because Marc-AndreBarriault, the power bar, you know, he does have a little bit of girth himself and shows a little toughness. Jordan Wright has he's out of 2 different gyms. There's a Dynamics MMA that's in Los Angeles, California. That's I call that his white privilege gym. I think that's his primary. But also listed is Jackson Wink, you know, Mark Jackson and John Winklehorn. So that Jackson Wink, Albuquerque, New Mexico. A lot of good fighters come out of there, and there's actually a lot of fighters out of Jackson Wink on this fight night card. So we got Jordan Wright taking on Powerball Marc-AndreBarriault. Let's see what the cappers have to say in this catchweight fight. Starting with the favorite in Marc-AndreBarriault. We've got Die Hard MMA podcast. Both. I don't know if Clint really didn't say. I think he might have took a pass on this one, but Lucrative again did say he thinks Barrio will get the finish in the 2nd or 3rd round. You know what I've heard a lot of different cappers saying is like, and this is fact too. Jordan Wright, he's round 1 or bust. It's round 1. He's only made it to a 2nd round a couple times in his entire career, and when he has, he's got knocked out by Jaquim Buckley. But all these 12 victories do come fast and they come hard. From, I guess, when I was watching the Stat Diggers, Wheezy said his strikes he's like significant strikes, over 8 significant strikes per minute. Also absorbed, both given and absorbed are both over 8. He's got like 10 out of 10. One of the people in the comments said got 10 out of 10 offensive striking or 0 out of 10 striking defense. And that's almost accurate. I'll give him maybe a 1 out of 10 for defense. But for real, Jordan Wright, he does not have any striking defense, and his chin is super suspect. He's got glass jaw. Okay, but anyway, taking Jordan Wright, we've got Lynch, James Lynch, and he's thinking Jordan Wright will get that early knockout. I guess. Barrio has been knocked. He got recency biased. He got knocked out by Chidi Njokuani in 16 seconds, I'll remind you, in the 1st round for Marc-AndreBarriault. Then jumping back over here for Marc-Andre. UFC gambling addicts late in, also taking the side of the Canadian. Then we've got that's why Clint is actually on the side of Jordan Wright. My bad. Links under the description. I just wrote it down. I didn't see that. Clint from Die Hard MMA podcast. So they're split on this. He's taking Jordan Wright to get it done here. Then we've got Sal the Red and Dev the Dude. I put these guys together because they both have separate channels. However, they both do their breakdown prediction show together, and then they post the same video on each of their channels. So one or the other or both will be in the description. Be sure to check them out. Then finally we've got one last capper, and that is Cody from Blood Money. And he is on the side of Jordan Wright. He thinks also Jordan Wright will get the KO round 1, which I guess if you, from what I heard, the prop for Jordan Wright knockout round 1 is plus 1,000. Go ahead and throw a little bet on that. Why not? Just for fun, just for kicks. That's what I'm gonna do. But I think I want to say my pick might be Barriault, because Jordan Wright has 0 defense, and I think Barriault's durable, and I know he got knocked out by Chidi and Jaquani, but I don't think it's going to happen from Jordan Wright. I think Barriault's going to be able to withstand the onslaught that Wright's going to bring to him in the first round, and have the durability to get into the second round, where he's going to have a gassed Jordan Wright that can't fight back, and Barriault's going to expose him and come with his hammers of his own and find the finish. So my pick is the Marc-AndreBarriault, but I will put a little hedge bet on Wright by KO. Okay, that's what that big dollar sign is. Hedge bet by KO. However, my pick on Tapology and for this 3-leg parlay here is going to be Marc-AndreBarriault, and I think he's going to get it done by finish. Just like Lucrative said, second or third round, that'd be my pick. I think we'll say TKO round 2. That's my pick. However, I will at plus 1,000. I'll throw $10 to win 100, just as a hedge prop bet for Jordan Wright. I mean, he does have it in. He's a first rounder bust. Same thing as yesterday. I covered Cameron Eltz. I picked Eltz to win because if you look, he's been to decision 1 time in his entire career, which he lost. But I didn't know this, but I guess after I learned so much from the stat diggers. God bless you guys. But I guess after the first round, going into the second round, he's got hands on the knees, breathing really hard. He's got real shitty cardio, real bad cardio. It's going to affect it. So that's subject to change. I already placed the bet last night after I did the show, and I didn't watch Stat Diggers until this morning on my way to work. So this was information that I didn't have at the time of filming last night. But anyway, whatever. I'll rediscuss that later this week, possibly on Friday night, maybe, because this Saturday is Nora and Daddy, me. It's our joint birthday party. We do share the same birthday. She's gonna be 8 and I'm gonna be 48. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. I'm already kind of like in a little midlife crisis slump, depression. I'm snapping out of it though. It's, I gotta just keep doing stuff that motivates me to get out of bed in the morning, aside from my job and aside from this. But what is motivating me with the whole YouTube, I am so close to 1,000 subscribers, guys. So if you haven't subscribed, just please do me that favor and do that. And if you have subscribed, go ahead and help my algorithm out by loading the comments and giving me a bunch of likes, thumbs up. I really like that. But to recap, time check, it is 8:04. So Nora's definitely up in bed. To recap, I've got Tyson Pedro, no bet there. I will try, if I do have to bet, I'll see what TKO round 2 against Ike Villanueva is. There's potentially hedge bet here, plus 425, but Ike Villanueva got beat by Chase Sherman. I can't get that off my mind. So my pick down there is Tyson Pedro. Then I've got Dwight Grant winning a decision over Sergey Khandozhko, which I think Dwight Grant should be able to handle that. I don't know the Russians, Dagestani, whatever. He's got some tricks up his sleeve. He does have a lot more MMA experience, but I'm going to go with Grant with the stronger resume of fighters and the more UFC caliber experience. And finally, I'm taking Marc-AndreBarriault. I don't believe the hype of the Barriault Ninja. I don't, if there is any hype, but I will put a hedge prop bet on Wright by KO. That'll be plus, I heard it's plus 1,000. I think that might be first round. Yeah, I'll write that. By KO in the first round 1. That's what makes it the plus 1,000. Plus 1,000 to hedge bet Wright by KO in the first round. But my pick will be Marc-AndreBarriault, round 2. He's going to finish it after Wright is gassed and beat up a little bit from trying to empty his tank, trying to take out Barriault round 1. So there you have it. Gather the info, place your bets, and cash those tickets. I really appreciate you guys watching. As I said, go ahead, fill those comments, give me the like. Good luck on your bets, and I'll probably see you tomorrow from the hotel room.